Jewish Channel's Week in Review. What happens when an African-American anti-Semite and a Gambino family associate convert to Judaism? Sderot, the city that's seen the bulk of rocket attacks in Israel, has an American fundraiser. One Orthodox rabbinical court tries to change its tone by employing a woman, and much more of the Jewish news that's changing our world in this webcast version of the Week in Review. Hello, and welcome to the Jewish Channel's Week in Review. I'm Stephen I. Weiss. Probably the largest organization in Jewish life, with assets of more than $1 billion, has a new lead executive. United Jewish Communities, or UJC, announced that Jerry Silverman will be leading the organization, which serves as an umbrella organization to many smaller organizations in Jewish life. Silverman comes to his title as president and CEO of UJC, most recently from the Foundation for Jewish Camp, of which he's been CEO since 2004. He previously worked in the corporate world, including stints at shoe manufacturer Stride-Rite and Levi Strauss & Company. Meanwhile, another prominent face in the Jewish world has passed on. Gary Tobin, the author of many books and studies on Jewish life in America, passed away this week at 59 years of age. Also an activist in the Jewish community, his Bechol Lashon initiative was meant to engage Jewish diversity, particularly towards involving Jews of color and educating the broader Jewish community on issues of inclusion. One story Tobin would most certainly find interesting is our first segment this week about two of the more unusual individuals to join the Jewish community. Margie Rauhat reports.
An African-American who was once anti-Semitic and a former member of the Gambino crime family aren't the two people you'd most expect to see wearing yarmulkes and speaking about Judaism to a crowded room. But these atypical converts, Ernest Adams and Louis Ferrante, say they found truth in Judaism and that it dramatically changed their lives.
The mafia has a code. Although it's a twisted code of ethics, there is a code. So now you replace it with the Torah, which is the code, a real code of ethics.
For Adams, who grew up in a segregated America and resented both whites and Jews, the change came when a Jewish friend in law school introduced Adams to his family.
You know, when someone treats you like a human being, you respond and act like a human being. And so, you know, those anti-Semitic filters, you know, those anti-white filters, those thoughts that, well, you know, the Jews are cheap, stingy, and clannish, inclusive, all the stereotypical notions, they began to melt away.
For more of these fascinating conversion stories, check out the broadcast version of the Week in Review.
Thank you, Margie. When discussing inclusion in the Jewish community, the 50% of the population that's female is necessarily a big part. Rebecca Honig-Friedman reports on one Orthodox rabbinical court that's making a change.
Orthodox rabbinic courts have been mired in bad press lately, with controversies involving overturning conversions and allegations of biased decisions favoring men over women in contested divorce cases. But one American Orthodox rabbinic court is taking steps to maximize its public image and its effectiveness by creating a new high-level administrative position and filling the post with a woman.
As a woman, I will bring, I don't want to say a softer side to debates in, but something to that effect, that women can come in and feel that it's just a more level playing field for them.
For more on Marilee's role in the Beit Din and the impact she's likely to have for female litigants, see the full broadcast version of the Week in Review.
Thank you, Rebecca. Another story about women in the Orthodox community comes from Yeshiva University, which has launched a new month-long initiative. Margie Rauhat was there.
Yeshiva University's Center for the Jewish Future has selected 12 young women, both students and alumni from Stern College, to take part in a special Talmud and Bible study program that's running for the month of July.
They're extremely motivated. They really want to learn, and there's a real passion for learning, and it's a pleasure to see it.
But not only is the program intended to promote intensive Judaic studies for women, it's also designed to empower and inspire these young women to become future leaders in their communities. To learn more about this program and how you can be a part of it in July, see the full broadcast version of the Week in Review.
Thank you, Margie. Perhaps no story about Israel has more penetrated the thoughts of Jews around the globe in recent years than that of the city of Sderot, which has faced rocket attacks regularly. One part of that community was fundraising in the United States this week, and Christian Eden stopped by to get their stories.
The Hester Yeshiva of Sderot was founded in 1995 and sits less than a mile from the Gaza border. Since 2000, Sderot has been the target of a reported 7,500 rocket and mortar attacks launched by Hamas from within Gaza. With over 500 students, however, the yeshiva is thriving in a town whose population has dropped precipitously of late, spurring an economic crisis. At a fundraiser last week, the yeshiva's rabbi spoke about the situation.
Palestinians are trying to turn Sderot into a ghost town. We're not going to let them. We're going to make it into a capital of Torah and Zionism. They're trying to destroy. They can't keep up with the pace of all the beautiful building that's going on. They're trying to break a spirit, but we're creating a whole new spirit of hundreds of young guys, students, soldiers that are imbued with the desire to make a real impact and social change in a city.
For more on Sderot, including how Jews from across the religious spectrum are banding together, please check out the broadcast version of the Week in Review.
Thank you, Christian. Finally, two stories that caused controversy this week. The predictably unpredictable proclamations of Vice President Joseph Biden raised all sorts of alarms about Iran. And speaking on ABC televisions this week, Israel can determine for itself, it's a sovereign nation, what's in their interest and what they decide to do relative to Iran and anyone else, Biden said. This led to at least 48 hours of speculation over whether the vice president had given Israel a green light to attack Iran without complaint from the U.S. Was this a change in administration policy, or was Biden merely speaking out of turn? After 2 days of commentary, however, the president finally stepped in to clear up the matter. When asked on CNN Tuesday whether the U.S. was giving Israel such a green light to attack Iran, President Barack Obama replied, "Absolutely not. We have said directly to the Israelis that it is important to try and resolve this in an international setting in a way that does not create major conflict in the Middle East." Another controversy this week was the comments of Bernie Ecclestone, chief of F1 Racing, praising Adolf Hitler's management skills. Some Jewish leaders were up in arms over the issue, which led us to wonder just what a Jewish boycott of F1 racing could look like. Massive Jewish exodus from the mini Jerusalems of Indianapolis and Daytona, as well as the end of the popularity of flame-retardant colorful jumpsuits in Hasidic communities. Indeed, it's hard to imagine what European-style open-wheel racing would do without the vital support of the Jewish community. Of course, with or without racing, attention to traffic regulations in many areas of Brooklyn will likely remain the same. That's all for this week. For more news and analysis during the week, please check out our blog at newsdesk.tjctv.com. For the full broadcast version of the Week in Review, including additional stories, interviews, and features, please check out the Jewish Channel on cable. From all of us here at the Jewish Channel, be well. The Jewish Channel is available on cable, IO Optimum Cable Channel 291, Time Warner Cable Channel 528, Verizon Fios Channel 900, and Cox Cable Channel 1. For more information, visit tjctv.com.